The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Media with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. You can visit and subscribe to the show at gotohealthmedia.com. And now, here is Jonathan Marks. Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Marks. Welcome back to Go to Health. We've got another wonderful show. Today we're talking about stress, and I know stress is something we all feel from time to time. Some of us can manage it better than others. Some of us have it out of control sometimes. But we've got an author today here who has written a very interesting book. The title is called Feeling Stressed is Optional. I can't wait to learn how this is optional, and I hope we teach you how to make stress optional. Her name is Robyn Tiger, MD. She's a diplomate of the ABLM, which is the American Board of Lifestyle Medicine. She's a double board certified physician in diagnostic radiology and lifestyle medicine and trauma-informed mind-body expert. So she's into mind-body medicine. That's fabulous. As founder of the wellness practice, Stress-Free MD, she uniquely combines her training in medicine, yoga therapy, meditation, and life coaching to teach others a whole person approach to relieve stress while increasing both lifespan and health span. She's known as the self-care doctor. Dr. Tiger is the author of Feeling Stressed is Optional, a unique multimodal interactive book. I like that, which combines engaging content, videos, and worksheets for the most effective transformative experience. She serves as lead faculty and subject matter expert in stress management for the Foundations of Lifestyle Medicine Board Review Manual. She hosts the Stress-Free MD podcast and is a Western Carolina Medical Society Healthy Healer partner. Welcome to the show, Dr. Tiger. How are you today?
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm great. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. And you're sitting here waiting for a hurricane to hit. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of started. Yeah, luckily I have stress relief tools for when the hurricane hits.
Good, 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 good. So what compelled you to write this book?
Yeah, so I've experienced a lot of stress and anxiety many years ago when I was a burned out physician, and I've been basically making my mess my message and learning more deeply what's helped me and becoming certified along the way. And it's been over a decade of educating others in how to prevent and relieve their stress through many different avenues, whether it be teaching in person, whether it be, retreats, whether it's digital online content, which I learned to do during the pandemic. And then speaking of the pandemic, I started hearing about and watching what was happening to healthcare professionals in particular, which was my first impulse to create something that would be really accessible in the form of a book. It was a way that I hadn't created information yet. And that was the beginning of why I started this book. So I initially created it to help my colleagues who were suffering, who I knew that burnout and stress, anxiety, depression, and so on was escalating quickly, but recognizing that this is an international issue, I wrote it in a way that everyone can understand.
Great. Now, you didn't learn self-care in medical school. I'm presuming that it was mostly focused on medicine and probably a lot of stress. So where did you learn self-care?
Yeah, I learned it on my own, really. I was suffering from many different types of symptoms, and I was going to many different types of clinicians, physicians, taking lots of medications. I
Hmm.
had lots of laboratory tests and imaging tests, and everything was normal, and I wasn't getting better. And so I decided that I needed to look outside of traditional Western medicine. I am a Western trained physician and
Mhm.
I am grateful for Western medicine. But in the situation that I was experiencing, I just wasn't getting better. So, already running races, working out a lot, eating what I thought was pretty healthy, I said, what else is there? And that's when I started dipping my toes into other things, such as yoga initially and meditation, two things that I thought were, well, kind of eye rolling. I thought they
Mhm.
were ridiculous, right? I didn't know what those people in that room down the hall with the door closed at the gym were doing while I was training for races. But I was really at the bottom and I wanted to try something new. And it was when I first began going to these very beginner yoga one-on-one classes that I started to feel better. And I started to understand that as my symptoms resolved, that the issue was stress and that I was learning how to actually work with my own body, my own physiology to feel better. And so that is how I got into doing these other things, which now we understand in the medical literature is really grounded in science to help myself feel better and to study it more deeply. And then once I really understood the body, I wanted to understand the mind. And that's where life coaching came in. I was getting coached and I was really being helped a lot with my thoughts. And so I decided to study more deeply and become a life coach to really combine the body and the mind to help other people in a really whole person approach.
Great. Yeah, I want to underline the process you've gone through because I know many of us have as well, of really starting to use alternative medicine. And it's become much more accepted in the Western world now. There's a lot more evidence base for the effectiveness of alternative medicine and the kinds of practices you're talking about. There are a lot of books out there on stress management. What makes your book unique from other wellness and stress management books?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying, I feel like books are just talking at me, that you should this, you should that, shoulding people, right? So I wanted to wipe that shut off
Hmm.
and really find a way that I could create in a really small, easy, compact paperback all the different ways that people like to learn. And so, in addition to actual copy, things that you read, which explains what it is that I'm talking about, the different topics, and how and why they work. So, really, it's the what, why, and how.
Hmm.
And the why is it important and why does it work? Because our left brains, lots of times, want to understand that it's not just, Molly Moonbeam out there. It's actually grounded in science. And the how. And the how piece makes my book even more different because, as you mentioned in the introduction, I've created a series of very short, 5 minutes or less videos that go throughout the book. There are QR codes. So, as I'm teaching different tools, you can actually practice in video format along with me. And that is the how. And the how piece is missing. There's also downloadable worksheets. So, if you're someone who likes to write, and journal and create. By writing, there's that as well. So I try to tap into a lot of the different senses and the different ways that people like to learn. So there'll be something for everyone.
We're of the same mind on this. You're really describing one of my mantras, which is multiple media, multiple times.
Mm,
And so we don't learn, not everybody learns the same way. We have different favorite learning styles. So what you've provided in your book is lots of different ways to learn and take in the information, not only the reading part, but also watching a video or, writing on a worksheet. These are all active ways of learning and then multiple times, which is you don't get it the first time. Sometimes to really bring something into your life, you have to do it multiple times before you really accept it. That's great that you've got really a multimedia book. I salute you for that. So,
thank
what's
you.
been your most rewarding experience throughout your book writing journey?
Yeah, I have to say that the feedback that I've received as people were saying to me over the past few years, what are you up to? What projects are you involved in? And there's been such excitement about this book that it actually propelled me forward to continue, even in my toughest times, to keep going and to create this book, seeing the faces and feeling the energy of the people that have been so excited by it. And also, doing something that I haven't done before. I got very used to all of the ways I was educating, and this is one way that I hadn't created yet. And when we step out of our comfort zone, it can be very uncomfortable.
Hmm.
So it's really rewarding to be able to challenge yourself and to focus on your why, which is really elevating the health and well-being of others, and then to accomplish that.
That's great. I wanted to ask you, I think stress can be a habit for so many people. It's just your habitual response to things. Why is it important for people to deal with stress? What happens to us physiologically? How does it wear our body down? What happens to us if we don't really manage it?
Yeah, so if I said to you, Jonathan, like, what happens to you when you're feeling stressed? Like, how do you know stress is here? What would you say? Like, what kinds of things happen to you?
I just feel nervous. I feel tight. I feel uptight. I feel like my heart is, my blood pressure's up. I just feel, very active in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, really common, right? So we have symptoms. Thanks for sharing that. So you feel active in your head, your body's tight, you feel anxious, you're an offset. For other people, they may have headaches. People may not sleep well. They could be really reactive, like saying things you wish you could take back or doing
Mm.
things you wish you could take back. Maybe it affects your GI system. Some people get diarrhea, other people get constipation. Some people might have vertigo or tinnitus. There's lots of different things that happen, reflux, heartburn, right? And
Why?
so there are lots and lots of symptoms, and we could talk about this for a while, right? About all the different things that we feel in our bodies when we're feeling stressed. And you may say, so what? Like, I've dealt with it this long. I'm tough. I can handle it. What's the big deal? The big deal comes when we recognize what impact chronic stress has on our health and well-being. And it is the cause of the most common chronic diseases
Hmm.
in the world. Diabetes type 2, high blood pressure, hypertension, heart attacks, stroke, cancer progression and growth. It affects your memory, dementia. It actually shaves years off of your life by prematurely shortening these telomeres. These are little protective ends of your chromosomes that determine how long you're going to live. So it actually causes you to live a shorter life. So when we talk about stress and we think, oh, I can deal with all the things that I'm experiencing, so what? The thing is, the so what is that it affects your health and well-being. It actually causes illness and disease and shortens your longevity. So that's why it's so important that we learn how to prevent it and decrease it in our lives.
Wow. That's quite a list of symptoms you mentioned there that can be caused by stress. That's amazing. I think I got to go get this book. So when I get this book, when you say feeling stress is optional, how is it optional? I mean, I don't feel like I've got control over stress. How is it optional for me?
So stress in itself isn't optional in the sense that we can't change what's happening in the world. We can't change situations from coming up. We can't change things people are going to say to us. But what we can change is how we feel about it. So feeling stressed is optional. It's the feeling part.
Mm.
And so it's recognizing that if you're going into a stressful situation, there are tools that you can use to feel calmer. If you are in a situation where you start to feel anxious and stressed, there are tools you can pull in to decrease that stress and actually eliminate it. So even though we can't prevent stressful situations from happening, we actually can take over our physiology and we can decrease the stress response. That's what's causing your nervous system to go haywire
Mm.
when things come upon you outside or inside, as you mentioned, those thoughts. Sometimes stress is external, sometimes stress is internal. So we can prevent and relieve the stress that we're feeling.
Good. So I can't wait to get a copy of this book. You can buy it now. It's called Feeling Stressed is Optional. It's by Robyn Tiger, MD, and you can get it on her website. It's called stressfreemd.net. And we will put this on our video page so that you can visit and buy the book and learn more about Robyn. Robyn, it's been so great meeting with you today. Thanks for coming on the show and letting us know about your new book. I hope all the sales go very, very well.
Thank you. It's been an honor, and I wish all of you calm and peace.
Thank you. So this has been Jonathan Marks with Go to Health Media, another show. Thanks again, Robyn, for being here. And as we say at the end of every show, remember, go to health. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Media. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next time. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.